Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, your sanctuary with retreat experts, where we spill the tea on retreat success. Here we dive into crafting transformational guest experiences, talk about how to avoid pitfalls, and unlock marketing secrets. Whether you're a seasoned guru or a budding enthusiast, we've got the inside scoop for you. Join us as we learn how to flourish in this magical world of retreats. Hey guys, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon, and today I have such a special guest, although I have to preface it by saying this is not as fun as France, because my guest is someone that I met while I was in France, and we were just saying right before we recorded that it was such a magical group, and I miss that energy so very much, but I'm really excited to see you today, Kelley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Yes. So Kelly Hartman and I are going to talk about something that probably seems a little bit like, wait a minute, Shannon, why are you talking about this? But I actually feel like it's super important for us as retreat leaders and what we do and how we serve. And it's just a very important aspect of our leadership. But before we dig into the topic, Kelly, just tell us about who you are and what brought you to where you are today.
Great. Yeah. So I'm Kelley Hartman and I own Wild Hearts Collective and I am a retreat leader. So the journey there is a little bit of a long one. I went to my first retreat in my 20s. And what really sparked my lifelong desire to host retreats was the amount of transformation that happens when you're on retreat. I met people there that I still connect with today, and that's 25 years later. And basically just learning the personal lived journeys of everyone there is what was life changing for me. It was a diversity retreat and it was getting that individual perspective. So when I hit 45, I said, I'm going to do what I wanted to do my whole life. I'm going to host retreats. And I was also in corporate and I already host leadership trainings. I created Elevate Her. I host the Global Mentorship Program and did a lot of trainings and learning and development for corporate women. So I'm taking that out of practice and doing it and hosting retreats of my dreams. So that is why I started.
Yay! You know what I love about this is that over 20 years ago, you had the spark
Yes.
and you're bringing it to fruition. And I think sometimes people, whether you're 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, it doesn't even matter, whatever your age is. But women especially, we hit whatever that number is, that age in our head, and we're like, yeah, I'm too old to do this now, you know? And I call bullshit on that because there isn't an age that's too old. There just isn't, okay? There isn't. And so, Kelley, I'm so glad that you are following your dreams now and you're hosting these retreats because, yeah, I met Kelley in France, as I mentioned, and her energy is yummy. Like, I just cannot even put it into proper words. And so spending time with her on retreat, I'm sure would be a joy, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Because Kelley and I in France, we were talking about some of the things that might be missing from a retreat leader's life as far as, being the best version of them. And one of those things is focusing on joy. So Kelley, can you just kind of talk to us a little bit more about this?
Oh, for sure. So, as a retreat leader, you are facilitating the transformation of others on your retreat. And when you're doing that, that is having a requirement for you to hold space. And a lot of times, especially right now, everything is the world is messy and it's heavy. And every 5 seconds, there's breaking news about something. And what that does is that triggers our nervous system to go into fight or flight. And it makes all of this anxiety and worry and fear come into our energetic field and build up in us. And when we have all this heaviness and fear and anxiety and we dysregulate our nervous system, that is what causes us to basically not be able to hold that space. As retreat leaders, we need to know how to step out of the grind, to step out of burnout, to start with self care so that when we show up on retreat, we are the best version of ourselves. And that's when we talk about anchoring into joy. Because what is joy and what is required for you to actually experience joy? You have to feel safe, right? You have to feel your nervous system has to feel good for you to even get to experience joy. And once you get there, that is when expansiveness comes. That is when you're in flow. That is when you can give and pour into other people's cups.
Hey, retreat leaders, pause that retreat planning for just a second because I've got something you do not want to miss. I'm headed to London this October to host a live event that's all about teaching you how to host a retreat that's not just transformational, but actually profitable. Imagine sipping tea or champagne with other like-minded leaders while mapping out your next sold-out retreat. It's happening at the gorgeous Waldorf Hilton in London. I'm spilling all the secrets from pricing to planning, marketing to mindset, and you'll walk away with a strategy you can actually use. No fluff, no BS, just results. So head to retreatmastermindtraining.com and come join me across the pond. Okay, I love this on so many levels. You are right. The world is messy. That's a really good way of putting it. I think the world's always messy, but it just feels
Yes.
extra loud, at the moment. We've definitely, in our lifetime, Kelly, we have seen some extra loud moments.
Yes.
Probably maybe, I'm sure more than previous decades, only in the sense even that it's just so damn accessible, too
Yes.
accessible in some ways.
Yes.
But yes, that. And also, I want to piggyback on this because, as Kelly knows, this last month has been really very difficult for me. I've had some losses, and when we're in those spaces, whether it's heaviness from the world and our nervous system is disruptive, or
Mhm.
very personalized heaviness and we're disrupted, I think it's important that we remember that's not the time to create when we're in that space. When we're in that space of full disruption, full nervous system
Mhm.
panic, whatever you want to call it, that's not the time to reach out. That's as far as reaching out to your marketing efforts or your creation efforts or whatever may be the case. Maybe that's when you rely on a team member and you're like, hey, I need you to step up for me, or you hire it out for that moment, or you just take a fucking break. But it's like, we need to honor that. There are times in life we're going to push, right? We're going to push through things. You stubbed your toe, push through it, whatever. But there are also times when your nervous system is telling you, okay, we can't go on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And it's so important that we learn to honor that in ourselves because we have to learn how that we can honor that in our participants and see that and help them through that. And a lot of times, especially in the world right now, it's the hustle, bustle, we got to go. We're women entrepreneurs, right? So we have a lot of big goals, a lot of big dreams. And I know that we hustle a lot. We're always kind of like, I got to get this done and do that. And we don't take or make the space always to breathe, to anchor in, to return to our body out of our mind. And that causes those cortisol levels to rise, the anxiety, the panic, and it takes a toll on your physical and mental health. And it's so important for us to listen to our body, to rest, like you said, to take a break and rest and recalibrate because we're able to come back stronger than before. And it's so important.
Yeah, this is such a good reminder to me. Sometimes I forget, and I think many of our listeners forget, that it doesn't always have to be push through it.
Mhm.
It reminds me when I used to have my private practice for mental health. If I sat with a particularly heavy session with a client, I had to work really hard to reset myself so I didn't take it into the next session.
Mhm.
It
Yes.
wouldn't be fair to that next patient for me to bring the previous patient's heaviness to them, right? And it's the same aspect here, Kelly, especially for those of us who are holding space. I'm just going to say it. You really should not be bringing your heaviness into the space that other people are trying to share their heaviness. It's just not appropriate. I know people are listening are going to disagree with me. They're going to think, well, that's a safe space for everybody to do it. You know what? Yes, but not for the leader. The leader has to do their own processing, their own leaning in, their own resetting separate. It really
Mhm.
is. That is not the time and space for you to bring your heaviness in. It really convolutes the whole point of a retreat for the guests that are paying to participate with you as a leader. It's okay to say, hey, I'm experiencing heaviness today. We're going to start our workshop a little bit later, and then you do your thing. I'm not saying that you're going to show up and pretend like everything's okay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Right.
saying is you're not bringing your shit into the same space that everybody else is trying to hold their heaviness or share their stuff. And I'm super passionate about that. And this is a really good reminder for myself as well.
100%. And this is not, I definitely want to talk about that. This is not toxic positivity. This is not, you should be in joy every single day. And if you're not in joy, because that's bullshit. That is total bullshit. What this is that this is a reminder that we have tools and that to use those tools to really listen to your body and recalibrate your energy. You own your experience on this planet. And when you choose to be a retreat leader, you're choosing to guide others and help them in their experience. And it's absolutely correct. You need to go in able to facilitate transformation. If you're in your own shit, you can't facilitate that transformation. You have to deal with that first. And having those tools to reset into joy and to calibrate to that is huge. It allows you to be expansive. It allows you to hold energy and space for others and allow them on their journey for transformation.
Yes. Thank you for this topic. I think it's so very important. And it's just one of those things that's often overlooked.
Mhm.
As I shared, things have been really heavy with me. And one of the decisions that I made this August, I was having my retreat leader mastermind, and I'm actually rescheduling it because it's
Mhm.
just not the right time for me to hold space for others because I'm bringing my shit with me.
Mhm.
And so I'm super transparent about that and making sure that, I'm making decisions that are sound for my body and safe for me, but also for my guests. I am still having my alumni retreat. For those that don't know what that is every other year, sometimes 3 years, but usually every other year, I host a retreat that's just for alumni. That means they've been on my retreat before. They know exactly who I am and what's going on. And I had a real heart to heart with myself and the group, and they are well aware of what I'm going through. And this is just a party. It's just a gathering. There's no transformation. There's no promise. There's no holding space necessarily. We're just coming together to celebrate, and we're all very excited about it. And I am actually excited about it, my alumni retreat, because I feel safe with them just as much as they feel safe with me. And it's, there's just a really good, it's just a really good vibe with this group, and it's just going to be so fun. But I've really honored the thing that I've put forth that I'm saying is I'm not creating anything this time of my own heaviness. It's not fair to the people who might be receiving it, but also they're not going to receive the my true heart right now. They're going to receive my broken heart or my grief heart or my guilt heart or whatever it is that I'm feeling inside. That's what they're going to receive, and that's not representative of who I am. And so whether it's big like the world or like loss or anything like that, or whether it's just you struggle with sadness sometimes, or you struggle with whatever, or you've got, difficulties in an important relationship, whatever that is, you've got to lean into that and not bring it with you into your transformative spaces. And I think you, Kelly, especially, you offer tools and thoughts on
Mhm.
how you can maybe tune out of that darkness.
Yes. Yeah, because we do have those. And first, I want to say thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable because you're setting an example and telling people that it's okay to pivot. When I work with women, both inside and outside of corporate, there's a lot of fear about perception or quote unquote failing, which is such bullshit. Sorry. But in that, if we don't do things the way that we thought, if we pivot, that's a failure. But you are actually doing something amazing for both you and the attendees and doing it in a space that will be transformative for them and bringing your best self when you can. So that's setting a huge example for everyone. And that's just amazing. So thank you for sharing that.
Hey, it's Shannon here. I'm just popping in really quickly to ask a big favor. Would you pause the show and go review it for us? Please? reviews. Reviews really help us to be able to get more guests and more experts on the show to help you transform your retreats. So if you wouldn't mind pausing and leaving us a review, that would mean everything. And if you're not already subscribed, do that too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really, my motto is to try to walk the talk, and so what I teach, I really do want to walk. And it was a really hard message to send to the attendees for August, and it's been really hard even for those that keep inquiring about it, but also feels right. It's hard, the hard that feels right. That's what this is. This is the hard that feels right, and so my thing was. Especially I had this conversation with an attendee who was really disappointed, but my thing was, I want to show up and give my best self. I don't want to bring this and set it on your plate, or do a half-ass, retreat for you. That's just not okay. And so anyway, so yeah, I feel really good about it, as hard as it is. I don't know if I feel good about it. I feel good that the decision was the right decision to make. Just like I feel good that spending time with my retreat alumni who are coming tomorrow, and I can't wait to see them, feels also very good, because I know that that's not going to require me holding space necessarily. My team can do it if that needs to be happening, but most my alumni retreats, I'm just going to be honest, it's just a party. It's a girl party.
That's
And so,
awesome. And
yeah.
that's so connect and that is what we talk about a lot right now. What I do is I gather the women. We're gathering the women. Gathering women in circles is so important and amazing, in just that space. But again, it's that awesome and just radical honesty that you have, that this is what this experience is. It's not a retreat, it's a party. And that is, yeah, that's exactly what will be expected of attendees. And they're excited to see you. They've already been through that transformation with you, and they understand. So that is totally amazing.
Yes, yeah, it really is. And plus the outpouring of love from them has been just beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Um, well, Kelly, tell us, like, if somebody wants to spend more time with you, because I think that they would benefit from it greatly, tell me some of the offerings that you currently have.
Sure. So I am hosting a retreat in September called Joy as Revolution. And we are taking, this experience is amazing because it's allowing people to experience joy in different ways. So joy isn't always this exciting, passionate, like, oh, I'm in joy. I take everyone through the four elements. So how do you feel in earth as you're experiencing joy? And that's a grounded joy of feeling stable. Or air. How does air feel? That's going to be light, and that's doing breath work and feeling alive. Or if you look at fire, fire is that passion. That's the creativity. So that's doing art, that's dancing, that's, yelling at the moon. That fiery. And then last is water. And that's when you're in flow and you let go of the things that we hold so deep. So the transformation that's coming there, and what I specialize in, and that's with all of my offerings, is getting you out of your head and into your body. Your body knows, and you talked about that. You felt into your decisions about both retreats. Your intuition told you what was right, and you listened. And what I see so much in women is we ignore intuition because societal expectations tell us, no, you should push through this. You should act a certain way. We have these expectations of how you show up and how you act. So I specialize in getting women to get into their body so they can transform and listen and learn and feel. And then they trust their intuition. And that is when the magic happens.
Oh, yes. Thank you. And may I have another? I love this so much. And I will have Kelly's website linked in the show notes so that way you can go check out her offerings. And I think you even have a free gift for our
Yeah.
listeners. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the free gift?
Yeah, it's my 4 tips to a joy reset. So it's exactly that. It's just an easy little thing that you can do really quickly. It has some reprogramming, and I'm NLP certified. So it just is something that helps you get out of the loops that we have, those thought loops or anxiety or fear, and gets you into your body so you can anchor into joy and you can visualize your best self and live as that self. And it's under 5 minutes. So really easy little quick thing.
Yay! Well, that will also be linked in the show notes. So, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on the show and just reminding us of what we need to be really focusing on as effective leaders in our industry, rather than just the metrics or social media or the right offering or the right workshop or all of these things that we think are super important. And they are important to a certain degree, but really it all starts with our inner joy. So thank you so much, Kelley, for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. Learn more at www.theretreatranch.com. See you next time.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience and their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today,